Good day, everyone. My name is Alan Muhendo, and today I'll be conducting a presentation about the Fair Information Practice Principles, how the FIPPs compare to other privacy policies, laws, and regulations, how it can be useful in protecting personal identifiable information, and how a federal agency can put each of the principles to use. The Fair Information Practice Principles are a set of guidelines that form the foundation of modern data privacy practices and regulations. Its origin dates back in 1973, and it continues to evolve and shape current approaches to data protection. These principles are quite many, and they include transparency, individual participation, purpose specification, data minimization, use limitation, data quality and integrity, security, accountability and auditing, and openness principle. Let us delve into a few of them, starting with transparency. This is the cornerstone principle requiring organizations to be open and clear about their data collection, use, and sharing practices. This often involves providing easily accessible privacy policies and notifications to individuals about how their data is being handled. Individual participation empowers data subjects with rights over their personal information. This includes the ability to access their data, request corrections, and in some cases demand deletion or transfer of their information. Recent regulations like the GDPR and CCPA have strengthened these rights, giving individuals more control over their digital footprint. Purpose specification mandates that data should only be collected for specific, legitimate purposes that are clearly stated before collection. This principle helps prevent mission creep into data usage and ensures individuals understand why their information is being collected. Data minimization advocates for collecting and retaining only the information necessary to fulfill the specified purpose. This reduces potential risks associated with data breaches or misuse. Use limitation restricts the use of personal data to purposes originally specified unless additional consent is obtained or legal requirements dictate otherwise. This principle helps maintain trust between organizations and individuals, preventing unexpected unauthorized data use. Data quality and integrity ensures that personal information remains accurate, complete, and up to date throughout its life cycle. It involves implementing processes for regular data verification and correction. Completeness, validity, consistency, timeliness, and accuracy are important. Security safeguards are essential to protect personal data from unauthorized access, breaches, or loss. As cyber threats evolve, organizations must continually update their security measures to address new vulnerabilities and attack vectors. Accountability holds organizations responsible for complying with privacy principles and being able to demonstrate this compliance. This often involves implementing comprehensive privacy programs, conducting impact assessment, and designating responsible personnel. Auditing. While sometimes considered part of accountability, auditing involves regular internal and external reviews of data practices. These audits help ensure ongoing compliance, identify potential issues, and drive continuous improvement in privacy practices. There should be a general policy of openness about developments, practices, and policies with respect to personal data. Means should be readily available of establishing the existence and nature of personal data and the main purposes of their use, as well as the identity and usual residence of the data controller. How the Fair Information Practice Principles compare to other privacy policies, laws, and regulations. The Fair Information Practice Principles serve as foundational framework for many policies, laws, and regulations worldwide. Unlike specific laws, these are general guidelines that inform the development of more detailed privacy regulations. Many modern privacy laws, such as the EU's GDPR and the California Consumer Privacy Act, incorporate FIPPs into their core requirements. However, these laws often expand upon FIPPs, providing more specific mandates and enforcement mechanisms. While FIPPs outline broad principles like transparency and data minimization, Specific regulations translate these concepts into actionable requirements. For instance, GDPR's right to be forgotten is an extension of FIPPs' individual participation principle. Industry-specific regulations like HIPAA in healthcare often align with FIPPs but add sector-specific requirements. Unlike binding laws, FIPPs themselves are not legally enforceable. They serve more as ethical guidelines and best practices. However, their influence on global privacy frameworks means that adhering to FIPPs often aligns organizations with many legal requirements across different jurisdictions. Corporate privacy policies typically reflect FIPPs principles, but their implementations can vary widely. How FIPPs can be useful in protecting PII and how a federal agency can put each of the principles to use. Creation of a comprehensive framework for protecting personal identifiable information. This approach not only helps safeguard individual privacy, it also builds trust with the public and ensures compliance with various privacy regulations. Transparency. Publish clear, accessible privacy policies on the agency websites. Provide notice to individuals about data collection practices, and use plain language to explain how personal identifiable information is collected, used, and shared. For individual participation, implement a user-friendly system for individuals to access their personal identifiable information. Establish processes for correcting or updating this information and offer opt-out mechanisms for certain data uses where appropriate. For purpose specification, clearly define and document the purpose for collecting each piece of this information. Regularly review and update these purposes as agency needs evolve, and communicate purposes to individuals at the point of data collection. For data minimization, collect only the information necessary to fulfill specific purposes. Regularly audit data holdings and delete unnecessary information. Design forms and systems to limit collections to essential data points. And for use limitation, establish strict policies limiting personal identifiable information use to specified purposes. Implement technical controls to prevent unauthorized data use, and also require justification and approval for any new uses of existing data. For data quality and integrity, implement data validation processes at the point of collection, establish regular data quality checks and correction procedures, and provide easy methods for individuals to report and correct inaccuracies. For security, implement robust cybersecurity means to protect this information, conduct regular security assessments and penetration testing, and establish incident response plans for potential data breaches. For accountability, designate a chief privacy officer or similar role, provide regular privacy trainings to all employees handling this information, and maintain detailed records of privacy impact assessments and decisions. For auditing, conduct regular internal audits of data handling practices, engage external auditors for periodic comprehensive reviews, and use audit findings to drive continuous improvement in privacy practices. These are the references I used to compile this presentation. Thank you very much.